U.S. launches Operation Southern Spear. Is Venezuela facing a new conflict? The geopolitical map of the world is shifting once again, and this time, the tension is rising sharply in Latin America. The United States has officially unveiled a new military operation aimed directly at Venezuela, known as Operation Southern Spear. According to reports from Axios, the announcement came from U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, raising immediate concerns about the future of U.S.-Venezuela relations, regional stability, and the possibility of a larger military confrontation. But what exactly is Operation Southern Spear? Why is the U.S. mobilizing warships, including the world's most powerful aircraft carrier, near Venezuelan waters? And is Washington preparing for something even bigger? Stay with me, because today we break down everything you need to know about this dramatic development. And just when you think the situation is clear, new information reveals a deeper strategy unfolding behind the scenes. The announcement that shocked the region. On Thursday, local time, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth made a public announcement that instantly caught global attention. The United States is launching Operation Southern Spear, a military effort targeting what he describes as narco-terrorists operating in and around Venezuela. Hegseth stated that the operation is designed to protect the American homeland from the drugs that are killing our people. This framing positions the mission as part of a broader U.S. campaign against drug trafficking networks that Washington believes are linked to factions within or around Venezuela. But the announcement left major unanswered questions. Is this a brand new operation, or is the U.S. simply rebranding its existing military presence in the region? No clear answer has emerged yet, even from U.S. officials. But what raises even more questions is the kind of military hardware the U.S. is quietly moving into the area. The warships gathering near Venezuela. While the announcement was new, U.S. military movement in the region is not. For months, analysts have observed the buildup of U.S. naval forces near the Caribbean waters adjacent to Venezuela. Among the deployed forces is the USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest and most advanced aircraft carrier in the world. Its presence alone signals that the United States is not taking this operation lightly. Deploying such a massive warship is rare, unless the U.S. is preparing for a show of force, a strong deterrent, or a potential escalation. This has led many experts to wonder, is Operation Southern Spear just the beginning of something larger? The U.S. has historically used powerful naval deployments to pressure governments and assert dominance in hotspot regions. Venezuela now appears to be the latest entry on that list. But even more surprising is which U.S. military branch will be running the operation and why that matters. Southcom takes the lead. Operation Southern Spear will be operated in part by the U.S. Southern Command, the division responsible for military affairs across Central and South America. Southcom's involvement hints that this is not just a temporary mission, but possibly a long-term strategic initiative. Southcom oversees the Caribbean, Central America, South America, and surrounding waters, meaning that any operation under their direction can be extensive, far-reaching, and coordinated across borders. But there's another twist. The head of Southcom, Navy Admiral Alvin Halsey, is set to retire in mid-December, after just 1 year in the role. This unusually short tenure has raised eyebrows. Reports suggest that Halsey has been more cautious than Defense Secretary Hegseth wanted. Meanwhile, some Democrats have already questioned the legality of certain U.S. actions, especially attacks on suspicious boats in the region. With Halsey's departure, experts believe Hegseth may soon install a commander who aligns more aggressively with his strategy. And if you think the internal tensions stop there, wait until you hear what's happening at the White House. The White House receives a new military plan. Behind closed doors, things are moving even faster. According to multiple sources, the United States' top military officials have already presented an updated strategy for a possible military strike on Venezuela to President Donald Trump. This meeting reportedly took place at the White House on Wednesday. What's shocking is that the plan includes options for a ground operation, something far more serious than naval pressure or air patrols. While there is no confirmation that Trump has approved any military strike, the fact that such plans were presented signals one thing: Washington is preparing for multiple scenarios, some of which could escalate into direct conflict. The updated plan reportedly outlines naval blockades, air operations, cyber interference, and limited or full ground options. This does not guarantee that the U.S. will attack, but it does mean the possibility is now on the table. But what does all of this mean for Venezuela and the rest of Latin America? What Operation Southern Spear means for the region? Venezuela has long been a politically and economically unstable nation. U.S. sanctions, internal political battles, and a strained relationship with Washington have made the country a constant source of geopolitical friction. With Operation Southern Spear now underway, several outcomes are possible. 1. Increased military pressure. The U.S. may use this operation to squeeze Venezuela's government and restrict any suspected drug-related activities. 2. Regional escalation. Neighboring countries might be drawn into the tension willingly or unwillingly. 3. Political fallout. Venezuela may use the operation to rally national support, claiming foreign aggression. 4. Proxy conflict. Rival powers like Russia, China, or Iran, who maintain ties with Venezuela, may respond diplomatically or strategically. 5. Full-scale U.S. intervention. Although not likely, it is no longer impossible. The biggest concern right now is miscalculation. Any small clash, misunderstanding, or intercepted vessel could trigger a much larger confrontation. But the biggest question remains: what happens next? What comes next? Operation Southern Spear marks a new chapter in U.S.-Venezuela relations. What started as an anti-drug mission may evolve into a broader strategic maneuver, especially with increasing U.S. naval presence and internal pressure at the Pentagon. The coming weeks will reveal whether this operation remains limited or becomes the spark for something far more intense. One thing is clear: the eyes of the world are now fixed on the waters near Venezuela.